On tonight's show, following the sudden, violent death of their best mate, four young men reunite for a hike through the Scandinavian wilderness. Deep in the black Nordic forest, they find themselves lost in a hell of sinister nightmares and pagan sacrifices. Ed Ader, what did you think of The Ritual?
I enjoyed it quite a bit. Netflix original, directed by David Bruckner again. He also directed VHS, or part of VHS.
Yeah, he did the first short on there about a vampire hooker lady.
I remember enjoying that a bit. I feel like it was kind of a welcome surprise out of Netflix, who has been handing us not the best in horror. As far as
for the beginning of this year, 2018,
it's been a rough go.
Some pretty underwhelming efforts. There was The Open House, which is one of the worst horror movies I think I've ever seen.
I agree with you.
And then The Cloverfield Paradox.
I still haven't seen that, but I've heard it's pretty mediocre.
It's not terrible, yeah. It's just kind of underwhelming.
But I actually really like this movie. I thought I was scared. I thought there were some interesting themes with like guilt and things like that, and
yeah,
thought it was really well directed. I thought it was beautiful. Production was clearly, they had money to make it, and it was well acted. Rafe Spall.
That's the main guy?
Is that how you say it?
I have no idea.
I think
that's the guy from Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, he's in all three of the Cornetto
yeah.
trilogy. He was in The Big Short. He's in that episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah. Yeah, he, as top billing, I think he did a pretty admirable job.
Yeah.
I really cared about his character. I don't know. A lot of people were kind of down on the four characters. I thought they had a pretty interesting dynamic.
Yeah, I thought they were fine. They were they were five friends from school.
Yeah.
It kind of opens on the downer of, I think his name was Rob in the movie.
The guy that gets killed
he gets killed in the liquor store.
We said we were spoiling this already, right?
Shit, yeah.
Yeah, we're spoiling it. Yeah. I mean, that happens in like the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, they kind of, right in like the quick synopsis they give you, it says best mate dies.
I like that. I just like their conversation to open the movie when they're in the bar. They're just somewhere in England, right?
Yeah, and they're just five old friends that like kind of seems like they've drifted apart a little bit, and they're talking about, I guess they do a lad's holiday. That's what they refer to it as, a lad's holiday, and they're planning that. And then it's kind of like the guy that hasn't grown up all that much, which is our main character. He wants to go to like Amsterdam.
They all want to go somewhere different.
Yeah.
It's really interesting because like that reminded me of a bit later on when they were all talking about what they would have to eat.
Yeah,
their
that
personalities.
Was a really cool part. Yeah,
their personalities are really different. Which I guess some people could read as forced because like, oh, you got to have them different for like the sake of plot progression and all that. But I thought
I thought it was good. I like the one guy that just wanted to eat a McDonald's by himself.
That was the moaner, right?
That was the guy that got hurt, Tom.
Yeah. What did he even do to? He just took a bad step.
Well, he stepped into like that 3-foot ditch for no reason.
Oh, was it a ditch?
Yeah, there was that giant ditch.
I just thought he just took a bad step. It's like, man, this guy really sucks. Because then he was saying, well, my meniscus is already...
Yeah, I've done it before.
Yeah, he's done it before.
I just like Rafe's, or what was his character? I'm going to keep calling him Rafe. Instead Luke.
Yeah,
his name's Luke in the movie.
Lukey.
He's just like, walk around on it a bit.
It's a bit stiff.
Like all their banter is, I really enjoyed those parts.
Yeah.
Like I thought they were really like enjoyable people even before we got to like anything bad happening, or like even at that point in the movie. Yeah. Like obviously there's the death of their friend. I guess I shouldn't say anything bad, but like for the most part, none of them were in that much danger except for like that 30-second scene at the beginning when the guy dies, and then.
Yeah, so they decided to kind of honor his, I guess it's his dying wish, because he's
what he wanted to do on the trip. is what they end up doing.
They're hiking from Sweden, the wilderness of Sweden, to Norway. Is that the path?
Yeah, I think so.
It's not like they're not going through Norway, but it's kind of a trail that leads.
Yeah, it's like some multiple day hike.
Yeah. So, what's the guy's name? The moaner that Tom. He suffers the injury, and then they decide they're going to take a shortcut through the woods, and that's going to cut their hike essentially in half.
Right.
But the trade-off is now they're off the beaten path. They don't know where they're going. And that's where the movie
dangerous things happen.
Yeah.
When you go off the beaten path in Norway, I guess.
Well, Sweden on the way to Norway, I believe.
That's right.
Yeah, that's where the movie starts. I really thought this movie was solid too. It's like I would say if I had to give it a numerical score, like a 7 or a 7, like a high 7.
Yeah. I'd be okay with someone giving it an 8.
Pretty derivative.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's fucking derivative, but I mean, it takes a lot. It borrows liberally from like Blair Witch Project. The Descent.
I got a lot of Descent vibes.
It's like the male version of
right,
like the testosterone fueled version.
Because even like a lot of the characters they're like, very similar to characters in the Descent. Yeah. I feel like
it's funny because I call it like the testosterone version of the Descent, but then I realized like a lot of these characters are kind of pussies,
especially compared to the Descent.
So it's like actually the complete opposite of that. Ah, man.
I didn't think about that. Like these guys are not equipped for this.
No.
For this hike at all. The one guy is, I can't remember the other asshole's name.
The leader, kind of like the alpha male.
The guy that gets killed first.
Yeah.
I can't remember his goddamn name.
Well, they have
Hutch.
Is it Hutch?
Yeah. That guy was kind of, he was kind of the one that was just like, we're cutting through. We're doing it. And then even once they're in there and crazy shit starts happening, everyone else is like, maybe we should turn back. He's like, nah, we got this.
Mm-hmm.
So he was kind of like that naive one that's like not afraid of anything, even after that first night where they all had those wild dreams.
I was going to ask you, do you think, because that's like 20-25 minutes into the movie, do you think because a really good horror movie really slowly establishes what's going on and things escalating. Do you think things escalate a bit too quickly with that? Because that just seemed like, whoa, now we're going that route.
See, I think movies now do too much of the opposite, where like there's nothing happens till the third act. So like,
yeah, some movies do that.
We're getting too far into that like Garth Edwards style of storytelling, where like you get 2 hours of like character building and then, oh shit, this crazy shit's going on, but only for like 8 minutes, but it's really crazy and awesome. Mm-hmm. So like I actually kind of appreciated that like stuff started happening pretty fast in this one. And I feel like it didn't, like I still feel like the third act was able to provide with like this new terrifying thing that we didn't really know what was going on.
The third act is essentially just a big chase.
Yeah. But like you did not see that coming in the first one. Like I thought it was going to be much more of a psychological thing at the beginning. I guess it still is at the end, but there definitely is a real evil here, not just like these guys' minds playing tricks on them for being in the wilderness or lost or whatever. Like how it kind of felt in that first like that's where I thought it was going when I saw that first like dream sequence where all 4 of them have weird nightmare type things. Like the main character sees himself back in the liquor store where his buddy got killed and he was the only other one in there. We don't find out till much later, but Tom saw himself getting killed in that town with those weird people. Like at the end, he pretty much saw the end of the movie.
He kept screaming his wife's name.
Yeah. And then Hutch peed himself, but I don't think we ever figured out why he was so scared.
He was just screaming, and then he woke up and pissed himself.
And then I can't remember the other guy's name now.
He was upstairs in the
just
attic, naked, praying to the very horrifying figure. That was, for me, that might have been the most unsettling part of the movie.
When he first happens upon that thing, and
then he's the one that asks, like, I'll pay one of you $1,000 to sleep up there that night, and then he ends up being the one.
Right.
There's little subtle things like that. A lot of foreshadowing.
Yeah.
That I think is pretty effective.
Yeah, they do a good job of that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. So, there's like 2 or 3. It seems like every night they kind of have those nightmares, right? Like every night, Luke has essentially the same nightmare being back in that liquor store. And I don't know if like, because Hutch we don't find out about, and Tom sees his like wife and himself dying. So I'm wondering if like somehow the forest or like the beast we finally run into, I don't even remember what the hell they call it, that god thing.
It was the bastard godchild of Loki. I think they did give it a name.
Yeah, I think they did. I can't remember what it was. But it's somehow like it seems like they're all dreaming their worst fears. Like he's just reliving.
He's very psychologically manipulative, I think, and I think that's where, because at first I was like, okay, well, how is this guilt playing in? Like, is he just dreaming this every night, or is he actually
like reliving it?
Reliving this because he was outside of the cabin.
Yeah,
when he was
he saw the bright lights and walked outside.
Yeah, so I read that as the Scandinavian Norse god or whatever, fucking with them, psychologically, and having the power to do that to try to not convert them, but because they are ultimately sacrifices. And Rafe's character, Luke, he was one that was marked. He had like those 4 or 5.
Yeah, and those seem to be the ones that are allowed to live.
Yeah,
for some reason.
Not a lot of it's explained terribly.
Yeah, they leave a lot to the imagination in this one, which I think works pretty well. I don't think it was like cheaply done to the point where it's like, we can't figure it out. Just don't tell them. And that's how you make a good horror movie. Like, I feel like a lot of movies these days do that shtick, and I don't think that was the case with. Like, they told us a lot. They told us a decent amount.
Yeah, and then, so, the middle of the movie, before you really see the monsters still, there's the big climactic, I guess, fight between Luke and Tom, about Tom blaming Luke.
Was it Tom or Dom? Now I'm second.
The guy with the glasses who can't walk.
Yeah.
The
guy from Alien vs. Predator.
Yeah, he finally says what kind of is on everybody's minds, and you're wondering as a viewer, is this going to be addressed? Is Luke's refusal, or not refusal, but his hesitance in the liquor store of not doing anything.
Right, he kind of just
kind of
not let it happen, but I feel like it happened too fast to say let anything happen. But
I didn't like how, when he first picks up the vodka bottle or whatever it is, he's kind of just like tossing it. Like, why did he do that? And that I would be shitting my pants in that situation. He's just like looking at the bottle and being like, yep, I could totally use this.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't, and then he's just like crippled by fear or something and doesn't use it. Or I don't know if he was crippled. He just, he probably didn't imagine that he was gonna get, his friend was going to get violently murdered by these. Well, I was watching with the subtitles that said they were junkheads, or addicted to some kind of drug, and that's why they needed
drug addicts.
Yeah, it's like, man, that's pretty ridiculous and over the top for a drug addict to just like
beat someone's head in.
Yeah, for a wedding ring. That's what it ultimately came down to.
Man, England seems like a crazy place, huh?
Yeah, if you're gonna go to a liquor store, all 4 or 5 of you better go.
You better go. Everybody better go in. Yeah, I thought that was really interesting when they finally blow up, and then even he asked the other guy, he's like, "Do you think it was you think I should have done something or whatever?" And
he
he's
says,
like,
"I don't know."
I don't know.
Which means yes, like they've all talked about it, and it's just like, oh man, that's rough.
I love earlier in that, like way before that even happens, when they first get on the hike, the first thing they do is build that like rock thing. And like memorial to their friend that died.
Oh yeah, they're drinking the flask.
And then the glasses guy, the helpless sumbitch.
Dom or Tom.
Yeah, D/T. He's like, yeah, it never should have happened. And Luke just like shoots him that look like, what's that supposed to mean?
Yeah, that was another great
instance of
foreshadowing. Yeah,
that was really cool. Like, you kind of knew what the hell he was talking about, but, like, weren't really sure. Because, like, I kind of had that thought myself, like, during that first scene.
Yeah, you're like, ooh, this is getting tense.
I love, like, how they just did that quick jump, too. Like, it goes literally from the dude getting his head beat in the liquor store to...
It always played off like Luke was dreaming about it.
Yeah, like, he wakes up in his tent on the hike presumably a while later.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like having to come back to all those people's families, like as Luke emerging from the forest, like having to tell them all, like, damn, everybody's dead. Because I feel like Luke's the one who's like these guys' wives and like families and stuff probably already don't like this guy because he's like the young, not young, but like the kind of younger. He's like immature, I guess is the right word.
Yeah.
Like he still wants to stay up all night drinking, and he's the one that smokes, and he's single. And
were they all married except for him?
I think so.
I don't know if they made that.
I don't know if they were all married except for him, but well, I know like the guy that died at the beginning was Rob, and then Dom or Tom. He was definitely married to Gail.
Yeah, I want to see the sequel where he's just kind of like shunned by all the families. He's not allowed to funerals or anything.
Now that's a scary movie.
Yeah, and he becomes just like intense alcoholic.
Yeah, you'd have to be, right?
Yeah.
After the events of that.
And the ending, I mean, if you want to jump into that now, kind of leaves things unresolved. Well, not.
He gets out of the woods, but does that mean he's good to go?
Yeah, because like there is really no final showdown. Like nobody. We don't know who triumphs ultimately. Like Luke gets away.
Yeah, but that giant beast thing's still alive. Yeah. But is that stuck in the woods of whatever?
Yeah, it was like he hit the barrier of the woods and he couldn't
move anymore.
So you want to talk about the monster and what it's actually, what this
thing
what
is? The hell was that thing?
It's like a giant moose / buck with weird man hands.
It had man hands and like that face. It looked like one of the creatures from Spaceballs. With, like, just the two bright eyes and, like, no features.
I mean, I didn't think it was scary. It was, like, too giant to be...
It was too weird.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it was messed up, like, the stuff it could do. The psychological stuff was, like...
But then it was just, like, a giant, like, horse with antlers that could chase you through the
I just like how it was putting people up on trees like it's Christmas, like it's decorating.
Yeah.
You'd think it would at least like eat the people or stuff. Like it didn't. I don't see the point of killing all those people. I don't know why it was what it's in. Maybe he gets like their life force somehow or something. But I think
that's what it was. And there's other people that worship him in this forest that offer up
that also have the holes in their chest.
Yeah.
And the patterns.
And they're okay, but they're only okay as long as they can kind of attract other... They allude at one point where they one of them finds a driver's license from 1984.
Yeah.
So we know there's been...
Were the people there supposed to be some of those people or no?
That's a good question.
I was trying to figure that out.
They already
because I watched it twice, and I was trying to figure out the second time.
Yeah.
Because like I didn't really think about that the first time, but
were there any older like?
Yeah, I think there were some older people.
Yeah, that could have been them. Yeah.
I don't know if that was supposed to be. And then like the younger girl spoke English, so like she was clearly from somewhere
like civilization.
Yeah, she wasn't born and raised in like messed up Forestville.
Yeah, almost wants you to kind of have a television show explaining
the backstory
of how this kind of cult came to be.
I feel like it would either end up dumb or convoluted.
Yeah,
or both.
That's why I was like,
probably both.
Kind of, maybe like I don't know. Yeah, because you can't really do it. You could do a prologue movie.
I'd like to, because it's based on a book, based on a novel by Adam Neville. I kind of want to read it.
Maybe that.
Like because they would go into detail about the beast and how the people got there.
Yeah, because it's interesting. We don't get a lot of... I mean...
There's those symbols everywhere, but who the shit knows what those are?
Yeah.
Like, there's symbols on the trees and on...
That was, like, very Blair Witch.
And I think that's the, like, symbols that they draw on their chests. Because I think, like, the one lady that showed hers had a different pattern than Luke.
Yeah, wants me to, like, research more Norse and Scandinavian mythology. I mean, they're not the same, right? Because they keep like intermingling the two.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know nearly enough.
And that's really in right now with the Thor Marvel movies with
right.
Loki, and this beast is the child, the bastard child of Loki, sent down to Earth. Did they ever explain why he was sent down to Earth? What was it?
In this?
Because he was like a bastard child or something, and Loki didn't.
I don't think they said any. There was like 2 sentences about him in the whole thing. That one girl at the camp.
Yeah.
And how does she know so much?
Does she communicate with?
Can she talk to those other people, or the beast itself? I don't know. Yeah, it was just it did like a lot of things well. I just don't know if it like cohesively worked as well as I wanted it to.
Yeah, the third act kind of lost me because
like I didn't love the creature, but I thought it was like pretty cool. Like I thought it was more cool than scary. And I was like, oh, there's a big
like that's different.
Like that'd be a sweet Dark Souls boss. Like like that's
it had like that random like Japanese design where it's like two different beasts kind of.
Yeah, that's how I felt about it, but I wasn't like, oh, this is horrifying now. Like I was more scared before.
I wasn't shitting my
like the first time the hand was on the tree, I was like, oh man, like I was still like pretty on edge. But then when you get like an actually good glimpse at it, I'm just like, all right, it's a giant animal.
It's not scary,
right?
I mean, if you're in the woods being chased by the thing, that's another story. But
right. But sitting at home,
if you're watching it with the lights out, you're not going to be terrified by it.
So I just like I don't know if that really connected with the like psychological stuff. Like I thought the guilt part was like the best thing they did. They handled the best.
First half of the movie I think worked a lot better.
Was
than
Luke's
the second
guilt
half.
and like because like everything that other guys said, he clearly like he felt like the odd man out now because he was the one in the store when his buddy died, and I thought that was the most interesting part of the storytelling.
Yeah,
and then we get to like all the crazy shit at the end, and then I feel like that
you get away from the guilt. It doesn't really.
Yeah, how could you have guilt when you're being chased by like a 2-ton fucking whatever that thing is?
Yeah, it didn't really seem to tie into anything. It just became Luke was the main character, so of course he's going to survive. But I don't really feel like he learned anything or came to terms with his guilt. It's just his friends. More of his friends
just
died.
Like, what a poor bastard.
And he survived, and now he's a poor bastard who's friendless and probably out like nobody.
He's gonna have to move to the United States,
or just went to Norway.
Should have just stayed with those people. He had the thing on his chest. He could have lived there forever.
Yeah,
they would have accepted him. They're giving him water and everything.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, I guess that's my biggest complaint. Is just that like a lot of cool stuff happened at the end, and like I thought storytelling was really good up until then, but I don't really understand how they all meet.
Well, there really was no story in the last 30 to 40
Yeah, it was just an escape.
Yeah.
Maybe it's done better in the book.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. It's kind of front loaded with the interesting stuff, and then you see the monster, like, oh, that's cool, but not scary, and then
that's exactly
kind of where I'm at.
And then like everybody ends up dying. It's just weird. Like they weren't equipped for the trip, and I don't understand either why Luke's like head and shoulders like I don't want to say better, but just like tougher and. Like he overcomes all that adversity so much better than the other. Like the two.
And then there's one point where Hutch, the leader, kind of the group, says that you should go on ahead because you're the strongest.
Yeah,
and kind of
but why?
Scout out.
Like I don't get the vibe from him that he's like some kind of tough guy or.
Because they've established in the first 10 minutes that he's not a tough guy.
That he's very vulnerable and he's a kind of like a cowardly,
that was
relatable guy. And then all of a sudden he turns into Superman in the second half of the damn movie, and he's like breaking his thumb to get out of a thing, and or dislocating it at least. I don't know what he did there, but to get out of that rope tie.
Oh yeah, how did breaking his thumb make that any?
Oh, I forgot. This was a part I want to talk about. Remember that scene towards the end where like those dead people weren't really dead? Like he goes upstairs in that. I forgot all about this. I watched it yesterday. He goes upstairs in like the cabin.
Yeah.
And there's like a church almost set up, and it's all the people with those holes on their chests, but they're like clearly hundreds of years old.
They're like mummified.
But they're like mummified, but they kind of move and like make noises and stuff. And then he just lights them all the fuck on fire.
Yeah. So does that mean like none of them are completely dead? They're kind of
I think they are now. I don't know what the hell happened.
Well, yeah, but before the fire,
right. Yeah, I don't know. That was so weird. Like I thought it was like kind of cool in a way, but I also was like, what the shit is going on?
That didn't make a lot of sense to me why that happened.
No, I don't get it at all. I was bamboozled at that point. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna learn something in this like weird satanic church thing.
It was just a creepy
but it was just some like, I got an idea, let's have a bunch of dead guys that aren't really dead, and we'll have them bone, and then our hero will light them all on fire.
Maybe they had to give him one of those triumphant moments.
I also like that when he tried to shoot the beast at the end. Like, did you really think that, like, 1865 musket was going to take down that, like,
the Civil War?
3-ton moose? Like that undead super moose? Like, what the hell? Like, it didn't know it was here. It didn't know he was there. He was, like, sneaking away. And he just decided to pull up and shoot it with, like, a musket.
What do you think of the sound design? Because you hear it a lot more, at least in the middle, and then...
I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
I thought, like, all the shots of the trees were really cool.
The movie was shot really well.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really interested to see what this director does next, because I believe this is his first feature-length movie.
You might be right. I feel like he did something else.
He's done a lot of shorts. Like, he did the one for VHS. He did one for, I think, that Southbound anthology series.
Yeah.
That's what he's kind of been known for before The Ritual. But yeah, I mean, you could do a lot worse.
Yeah, it's much better than... If you're going to watch this or The Open House.
Oh my god, yeah.
Early 2018 horror on Netflix. Please.
Yeah, give this one a shot.
Please. Yeah, I think, like you said Blair Witch earlier. I think if you like Blair Witch...
It's like not the perfect, but a very solid cinematic interpretation
like the
of the
first
Blair Witch
half.
Project. Yeah, the first half where it's very psychological. You see the symbols, you see the shots of the forest, but you see it more of like cinematic. It's not Blair Witch.
Which I kind of like. I kind of like it. It's like Blair Witch, but instead of found footage, it's shot like a...
It's the fake version of Blair Witch Project, yeah.
Which I liked.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
You're right. The first like half, 2/3 of the movie.
Yeah, they kind of lost me when they started showing the monster every 2 seconds and you see it chasing them.
Yeah. I almost showed it like too early, I think.
You think?
I think so.
They went pretty... I want like an hour into the movie without showing it.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
I mean, you see glimpses of it with some jump scares going through but yeah.
It just felt like that last part dragged on compared to the...
I agree. They could have shaved like 10 minutes off the movie. Made it like an hour 20 instead of 90 minutes.
That's a sweet spot.
Yeah.
85-minute movies.
That's perfect, yeah.
All right. Got anything else you want to say about the riff?
Set.
I am too. Want to go home and watch it? No, I'm just kidding.
I could watch it a third time.
I don't know what we're doing on the next episode, or I preview it, but we're kind of jumping between our vacations here to...
We'll probably do something. We'll focus on more modern movies and kind of like Netflix.
Yeah, that's gonna be our focus for now.
Yeah.
Try and do stuff that's readily available.
Yeah.
Or real hot right now. Maybe once in a while we'll dip into the movie theater. I don't know. That'd be kind of crazy. Can I bring my notebook in?
That's pretty ambitious.
I gotta take a lot of notes, so.
It's early year, but we probably won't be getting that many horror movies out in the theaters. We had Winchester, but
we got the new, what's it called? Strangers movie next month.
Oh right, Stranger, that's coming out.
Pray at Night.
Right, so you've done your homework.
Well, anyways, we'll see you next week. Next week, episode 2.
We'll give this another shot. We might even have a guest next time, a special guest.
Nothing secured.
Maybe.